our great friend David Deutsch, again, generously agreeing to come on and share some thoughts. I know David worked very close with Clayton on many projects over the years, and they were very close friends as well. Hi, David.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin.
How are you, friend?
I'm doing okay, all things considered.
Yeah. You're holed up there in North Carolina at home?
Yeah. Nothing much has changed. It's still, us copywriters are all introverts, so we
Yeah.
have been avoiding people for ages. So
You've been social distancing long before
I've
it was
been
recommended.
social distancing long before it became popular.
Well, it's great to see you, and you got the quarantine beard coming in. So that's
I wasn't quite expecting this, so I didn't have time to shave. So
well, I appreciate you doing this, and again, I know emotions are raw, and you were very close with Clayton. What's been top of your mind since you heard this news?
Just I think how much Clayton's writing and what Clayton was like as a person were so tied together. Clayton's was full of life. His writing was full of life. Clayton was a compelling person to talk to, and his writing was compelling and interesting to read. The joy of life that he had, I think, was part of his secret in a way as to how he wrote. Like Marcella was sort of saying a little bit, that his writing is from the heart, and he lived life from the heart. And it was when I think of Gary Halbert, I think the same way. Gary wrote very much like he talked, very much like he lived.
Right.
And Clayton was similar in a different way. His style is very different.
Right.
I miss that. I miss Clayton's writing. I miss Clayton as the person, and they're kind of tied together for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And he really loved this industry, this business we were in. Fortunate to have a lot of casual time with Clayton, lunches and things at different events. And that's what he wanted to talk about. He had incredible stories to tell. The Gene Schwartz story, which I won't repeat publicly, and because I don't know if he'd want that, but I don't know if you recall the project he did with Gene in anyway.
No, I don't know that story. Is there a cleaned up version of it? Or?
It ended up being sex instruction tapes.
And
you remember that story? And they forgot and left them out, and then the kids were very quiet during a party, and like, where are the kids? and they went in the room and like, oh, I found the tapes. So anyway, hilarious. And he just loved to talk about the business, to talk about the numbers, to talk about the controls, to tell the stories behind the controls. He'd really found his life's calling in this.
Yeah. I was very envious of his love of writing, because writing is a little bit more of a chore for me, and he loved writing. He loved putting words on paper. And I think that was also partly, he loved people, and writing was communicating with people, like Marcella was saying about understanding what people want. Part of that comes from, that's a good thing to do, and it helps you write better. But part of that comes from, it's just natural for Clayton to understand people and to understand what they really want. They don't really want money. They want to be able to impress their wife and be a good husband and a good provider.
Yeah, right. What's any insights of the backstage stories of Clayton's method, during a project? Did you guys work on projects together, like on sales letter, on packages together?
I don't know. Never really worked on a project with Clayton. We kind of were peripherally connected on certain things. He critiqued some of my copy, and it was that, I still retain the lessons from that. But, I think his secret, like someone once said to Richard Feynman, who was a great physicist, Dyson Freeman said to him, Richard, I know your secret now. You think and think and think very deeply about a problem until you solve it. And that was kind of Clayton. He thought deeply about things that, other people, myself included, sometimes don't really give a lot of thought to.
Yeah.
Don't give a lot of thought to what someone really wants, right? This can help you make a lot of money. Okay, fine. This can help you make a lot of money. And we write that, and we forget to really just sit and think, what does this person want? What is this really about? You know, what am I really selling here?
Yeah. Is that what his critiques were like? Would he tend more to point out, think harder about this, or go deeper on this? What kind of feedback did he tend to give, as opposed to people like Carlton or others?
You know, his feedback, you know, like him, was more from the reader point of view.
Yeah.
You know, what he's feeling at a certain point. You know, I'm bored here, or I'm not believing this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was how he reacted as a person to the copy. And I think that's always the best critique that someone can give you about copy.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
You know,
Is there a Clayton control that you think about, study, go back to when it's
you know that this powder prevented a heart attack. You know that one? For
I'm not sure I do.
This 23-cent powder, you know, the heart attack that didn't happen or something like that. It was for a pill that it has a chelating process. It gets the stuff out of your body, the bad stuff out of your body, just like chelation does.
Right.
Except it does it by a pill. And he demonstrated it by, you know, the pill mixing it with, you know, in the urine or something, and you could see the actual calcium that would have gone into your heart and caused a heart attack. And it's a wonderful. It was so successful. There's a wonderful part of it too, where he dimensionalizes that, because basically it was about not having a heart attack, but he dug deeper and found that it was also about when you get calcium out of your bloodstream, right? Not only does it clog the arteries in your heart, it clogs the arteries to your brain, right? And so it affects that. It clogs the arteries to your sex organs, so it affects your sex life. It clogs the arteries to your kidneys and to your whole. It affects you in so many ways, and he spelled that out. And I think, again, that's that digging deeper. That's that thinking deeper. He's like, what else does this do? Let me extend this out a little bit.
Right.
Think more about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Kind of like what Marcelo was saying. Well, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Well, what is that?
Right.
That's such an important thing to remember for all the copywriters who will see this and are with us now. You know, never stop at the surface or even 10 feet below the surface. Just keep digging to what is the true emotion we're driving at here. And what does that look like? How do you dimensionalize that, right? As Paris likes to say, tell it to me as if I was watching a movie of it, what would I see on the screen?
Right.
Make it visual, bring me into that moment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot to be said for thinking more like a screenwriter than a copywriter.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Don't just give me, you know, the study found. Show me the scientists gathered around being astonished at the results of this incredible herb or whatever it is.
Right. Awesome. David, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing.
Of course, thanks for doing this, Kevin.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's last minute, but I think it was the thing we need to do right now. So stay safe, and I can't wait to hug you again someday.
All right, you too, and me too.
All right, brother. Take care.
Okay.
David Deutsch, everybody. The great David Deutsch.